Hi, I'm Gilly Bond, a specialist pelvic health physio, and I'm answering your questions about bladder pain syndrome. I'm going to talk about my thoughts around lengthening and stretching the pelvic floor because language matters, and it's one of my little bugbears. We need to all be talking about the same thing when we're doing the same thing, because that allows us to debate properly, and for you to come and challenge me and say, oh, well, actually, have you seen this? Have you read that? So when we are doing things to the pelvic floor to make it longer than it feels, shorter, I don't think what we're doing is lengthening the pelvic floor, because to lengthen the pelvic floor, to lengthen any muscle, you have to add sarcomeres. Okay, so unless you are in your clinic with lots of lovely inflammatory soup and some lots of all the protein molecules, kind of chucking them in there and pasting on some more sarcomeres, we're not going to be lengthening the muscle. We can stretch it like any other muscle. We can apply force, which will encourage the muscle to lay down more sarcomeres and therefore be a longer muscle. But you cannot, by being there for 5 minutes doing this kind of stuff to the pelvic floor, lengthen it. What you can is change its neuromuscular excitation level. Yeah, so you can change how much tension there is within the muscle by altering physiologically, by improving the movement, and by giving it stimulus and input to change. But really what I think you're doing is you're changing the neuromuscular excitation by getting the brain to engage with it. And you're doing that by being a nice physio. So having a good chat with your patient beforehand, therefore building up a rapport and a relationship. So when you insert your finger, you are able to change the muscular tissue by giving loads of central feedback, by saying, this is where my finger is, can you feel it on the right side? Can you pull in now? Can you release? Can you think about pulling in your back passage as if to stop from breaking wind? Or my other one that I find gets loads of activity, think about the bone at the front and the bone at the back. Can you draw those bones together? You get lovely pelvic floor activity. Add in a back passage at the same time, moves much more through full range. So doing those kind of things, those kind of cues, you're training the brain. Oh, that's where my pelvic floor is. Oh, okay, I can functionally move it. Oh, okay. And then getting it to change position. Oh, okay, great. Applying a stretch, pressing down and maybe breathing deeply, because we get abdominal breath, we get a nice release. You're going to change the position of the muscle, facilitate a positional change in the muscle, which will allow it to be less neuromuscularly excited. Is that a word? Excited. There we go. Which will help a lot of our patients to feel a lot better and not so tense and tight inside. But what you're not doing is lengthening it. If that makes sense, because you're not adding sarcomeres. So let's all talk about the same thing. You're relaxing the pelvic floor. You are achieving less of a tension, reducing the tension. You're reducing hypertonicity. You're reducing the resting tone, is something I talk about a lot. You can be stretching if you're applying lots of force, but you're not lengthening. And if you've got any questions or comments about that, put that under the video, chat to me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, I'm everywhere. Okay, love you to talk to you. Bye!